Cancer? Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer Collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Cancer Collective in late May 2026? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, and we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in late May 2026. What's the vibe? What's the energy? We're getting very close to Cancer season, my good friends. I hope you're planning your birthday celebration. And it's about a month away, right? Maybe a little more. Let's see. All right, cool. Card popped out pretty quick. Nice. So I like this inward-facing type of energy, and this card does give me a little reminiscent feelings similar to the Hierophant. It's highly, highly spiritual. But yeah, the energy does face inward. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. Put enough of the promo back into the reading. Let's talk about this image here. So we see this individual blindfolded, hoodwinked. And we have all these different symbols of different spiritual practices and different types of spirituality. And it seems like this person is searching through them, right? Grabbing one, looking at it, inspecting it. So this is great for any sort of spiritual work, whether it's like spiritual practice, prayer, meditation, you name it. Like, I love this for any form of spirituality or spiritual exploration, which again, as a water sign, that's something that usually strikes our fancy, right? Like, that's a big water sign thing. Now, if we take away the whole spiritual aspect of this, the blindfold is a significant piece of symbolism, because not only does it represent the inward-facing type of energy, so you might be a little more thoughtful, contemplating, doing a lot of contemplative actions and stuff like that, but this doesn't represent a focus on the outer world, right? That's the thing. And sometimes blindfolds can represent mystery, the unknown, things that we don't understand. So could there be some mystery within this week's reading? Potentially. We'll see if we get more cards of that. That's the only thing I'm very cautious about with this card, is like, okay, well, what's coming? So for some Cancers, maybe your intuition is hitting you like, oh, I feel something in the air. I feel like something's coming. There's like an anticipation with this card too. But we're just going to put him down right there. He could keep having his little exploration. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Cancer. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Felt pretty good to me. Seems like the last 2 weeks there's been a very good energy moving towards the Cancer Collective. But the reading last week was titled Here They Come. And to me, it just felt extremely magnetic, where it's an energy that's not chasing, but attracting, pulling things towards it. Not necessarily just people, but it could be different situations, different things that we're manifesting, creating, all that stuff. It was like, ooh, it's all coming to me. Here it comes, which I think is pretty cool. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Cancer in late May. What's the energy here for my good friends? Are we going to keep it moving? Are we going to keep it going? All right, we got the 7 of Cups. I like that big menu board of life right there. Okay, and it does share similarities with this Oracle card. So I like the 7 of Cups in position number 1. It is a nice card to me. I mean, it could be a little bit head in the clouds. Nothing wrong with that, though. Let's get a couple more. All right, second card popped out quick. Ace of Pentacles. That's good. That's really good. I don't want to get too overly excited about the energies that's coming out, because obviously there's a lot more to go. But let's get one more here. Big communication, conversation type of energy here. Cool. Yeah, High Priestess. So more of that inward facing, a little mysterious type of energy. The High Priestess is actually a very, very good energy in a Cancer reading, that's for sure. So let's get her tucked in right next to this Ace of Pentacles. All right, cool. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements, because I feel like that frames the reading, tells us how the energy is going to flow, and most importantly, how comfortable or uncomfortable you might be with it. And we have a nice mixture of water and earth. And luckily for those with Cancer placements, these energies work so good with people that have major water sign placement. So I love it. Now, when it comes to the water, right, the High Priestess and the Seven of Cups, this is your power element. That's your comfort zone. It's the inner world, the emotional world, matters of the heart. So, of course, partnerships do play a role in that. But to me, it's more so things or situations that we're emotionally invested in. Okay. So, whether it's like I'm very much emotionally invested in this outcome at work or this individual or this relationship, this is things we actually care about. Now, another thing with water, it's very creative, very imaginative. Those creative juices could be an overdrive. It's also intuition, very spiritual element right there. Now, the only downside with a lot of water is that sometimes it can be extremely intense and it can overwhelm. But for a Cancer like yourself, you're used to riding these waves, right? Now, in the center, we have Earth. Again, very complementary for Cancers, right? Because we have the water and earth, and this combination to me always represents blessings and abundance, right? Just like planting a garden outside. You need the earth and you need to water it, right? That's how I view it. Now, when it comes to earth, that's more security and stability, whether it's internal or external. I think of routine, I think of day to day life, I think of things that make us feel safe. Think of money, work, business, finance, how we earn those pentacles. For some of you, you might be in pentacle mode, or there might be very specific things that you're working on or working towards. So I do like that. The downside to Earth, and again, it could, aside from the finance, it could be home and family, anything of the material world. But notice how the inner outweighs the outer. The downside to too much Earth is sometimes it could get a little clunky. It could feel a little stuck. It might not be moving to the speed at which we like it. But the combination is great. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the Seven of Cups. I love this card. And we see this individual standing there, Seven Cups right in front of him, and he's like, which one am I going to pick? So this is obviously a card that represents options, choices, and paths. Really, really great stuff. So I like it, especially just to start off a reading. Even if you're dealing with certain situations where you might feel cornered, might feel like you're between a rock and a hard place, this actually tells us that there's more ahead than we think. We have more choices than we perceive. This is a huge card of manifestation, of visualization. And I'm a big believer in that, like, thoughts and identity become things, and this card absolutely represents that. Now, the downside, because you know me, I always have to give you the upside and downside of everything. The Seven of Cups can be a little too much in its mind, right? Nothing wrong with a little imagination, nothing wrong with some fantasizing or daydreaming, but sometimes this card can be there a little too long. And ever since the beginning, especially with the High Priestess on the back end, I've been seeing this big inward focus. This could be Spirit saying, like, okay, nothing wrong with that, but maybe put the focus outward a little bit when this card is here. So yeah, watch out for the overthinking or overcomplicating things in the mind. Now, moving to the middle, we have a beautiful, beautiful energy that I really like. So I'm very optimistic about this week's reading for you, Cancer. But yeah, here in the center, we have the lovely Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. So I always say I love all aces. To me, they represent offers and opportunities. It's a fresh, new, vibrant energy. It's something that gets us excited. And when the Ace of Pentacles shows up, to me, it represents golden opportunities or things that just seem to fall in our laps. Now, with a card that good, you might be asking, like, all right, well, what's the downside to something like this? Aces represent energetic potential, just like with most things, right? This is usually limited time only, right? Where it's like if something falls in your lap, you got to take action towards it. Or if you have an opportunity, you got to take it. That's a big thing, especially with the Ace of Pentacles. Now, could it just be a conversation of some sort? Absolutely. That could be in play when we have the Ace of Pentacles. But there's a fleeting nature to it whenever it shows up. Now, moving to the back end, we do have a card that has some similarities to that first oracle. We have the beautiful High Priestess. Love it. She is the matron of psychics, intuitives, and tarot readers. Classically, she does connect with the Pisces collective, but me personally, I give her to all the water signs. I feel like all the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, all embody some of these High Priestess traits. So again, spirituality, manifestation, prayer, whatever it is, meditation, any sort of ritual, highly favored when it comes to her. She's a huge card of information. Notice she always has that book of sacred law in her lap. So it's like she knows a lot of things, but she doesn't speak them, right? She's very, very hush-hush, very quiet. I do like this card overall. It's highly intuitive. There could be a lot of interesting things happening in dreamland and stuff like that. Your intuition could be heightened when the High Priestess is here. Her only big downside is her quiet nature, right? Because sometimes the High Priestess, even if she knows something, she's not saying anything, right? Like, so sometimes she could be a little secretive. Or she could just represent something that we don't see yet, something we don't know. We might not have physical proof of something. So the High Priestess is something that's off our radar. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Seven of Cups. See what that has. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Seven of Cups time. What are all these options? Beautiful. Beautiful. And it does have like a little impulsiveness to it, which again, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing as long as like this energy isn't going wild. But when I see the Seven of Cups with the Queen of Wands, to me, this is an energy that's like confident enough to take a leap or wanting to. And especially with the things that we have coming up, just watch impulses in this time. I know Cancers aren't known to be the most impulsive types, but that might be a little heightened in this time, especially with the Queen of Wands. She's a big card of confidence. Now, this could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And when I see her, I think of beauty. I think of aesthetics. So maybe you're changing something about your looks and how you present yourself to the world. That could be important in this time. So whether it's doing a lot of working out or changing the wardrobe or doing the hair, like when I see the Seven of Cups with her, it's like I'm changing my outer shell for some reason, which, again, nothing wrong with that. But she can also be very impulse driven. Okay, so again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. A lot of times I believe that sometimes we feel that impulse and we go with it. It's actually divine guidance. So just know in this time, if you get a craving for a very specific food, if you feel like taking a walk over here or a drive over there, when I see the Seven of Cups with the Queen of Wands, there's an aspect of divine timing that I'm picking up here, which I know that's super unique for a general reading, but that's what's showing up to me. It does feel very impulsive. I don't want to call it risky behavior just yet, but it's like I feel something, I do it. I have an urge to do something, I'm going to do it. So we're going to keep going. So yeah, in this time you just might have a little more impulsiveness to you. Okay, so we're gonna move in on the Ace of Pentacles, see what that has. I really want to look at the big picture, but so far I'm liking it. I mean, it's very confident and optimistic. So for some Cancers, maybe you're a little more optimistic about the future as well. And this is absolutely a thoughts become things, right? Thoughts become action, become things. Right? It's interesting how this is all playing out. So let's go in on the Ace of Pentacles. So let's see what's up with that. Thank you. I saw something very similar in the Taurus reading, and it's here for you as well. Again, we do have like the manifesting, visualizing, praying type of energy here as well. So don't be afraid to connect to that power within you, to communicate with the divine. But aside from that, when I see the Ace of Pentacles with the Four of Swords, it's an energy that just pops in my lap, right? So whether it's an offer, opportunity, or even a conversation, it's like I'm just chilling, not doing much. Boom, this Ace of Pentacles comes to me. This energy comes to me. It's just like last week with the magnetism that's still in play. So even if something hasn't magnetically come your way just yet, to me it's like, no, it's on the way. It's like you don't have to really do anything outside of the normal for this energy to come in, which is beautiful. So yeah, usually the Four of Swords, I do connect it to prayer, meditation, all that stuff, going within. We've had this inward focus the whole entire reading. So cool. Again, nothing wrong with that. But it's not making much action, right? He's kind of just laying there chilling. But it's like, I'm allowing this to come to me, Ace of Pentacles. So again, whether it is a talk of importance or whether it is a big offer or opportunity, to me, it kind of just materializes out of the blue. So it's like we have this chain of events. We have the thoughts become actions, become things coming to me, right? It's like we have this whole chain effect. That's another thing I've been seeing in recent weeks for Cancer as well, where there's like this chain effect, like right place, right time. Thoughts become action, become things. It's like that whole chain event. So I like what I'm seeing here. So whether it's work related, whether it's business related, personal relationships, could be a little bit of everything here. To me, it's like the power to create, manifest, and pull things to me are heightened even more than they usually are. Let's keep going to the High Priestess. Let's see what she has, then we'll do a quick little recap. So, I mean, so far, I don't want to jinx it, but it's like 3 weeks in a row we have this really exciting energy in the undertone, which makes me happy. So let's go in on the High Priestess here. Let's see what she has for Cancer. Thank you. Okay. So I don't necessarily think that this is a rough energy. Just something to be aware of, right? It feels like a little bit of invasive thought. So we have the devil in reverse underneath this high priestess. And what does the devil represent? It represents attachments, represents things that have been sticking around and lingering with us for a while. So again, whether it's problems, situations, whatever it might be. But when I see the devil in reverse underneath the high priestess, I got something very similar in the Virgo reading this week, where it's like a energetic detox of some kind, or where there's just something. It's like I'm detoxing it, I'm working through it, I'm transmuting it. So you ever hear like with alchemists how they turn lead into gold? That's kind of how this feels like to me. It's like a quiet transmutation of a not ideal energy into something positive. So I think that's great. But with the whole combination with her and the intuition and the devil in reverse and the optimism on the front, I still feel the energy moving in a very positive direction for a lot of cancers. I do. But there is still this energy that's lingering and still being worked through. But that does not negate all of this good stuff. The conversations, the offers, and especially with the high priestess next to this ace of pentacles with the devil in reverse, this could be something coming in where it's like, after I thought it wouldn't, that's when it does. Or when I gave up on something, that's when I got it. It's something similar to that, where it's like, oh yeah, no, I thought that opportunity was long gone. It's like, no, yeah, here you go, Cancer. Just when you think it's gone, it's here. So it could be like a surprising offer, opportunity, or talk when we have this combination here. So it's like we're not just working with two cards at a time. We have like these links, like three chunks, if that makes sense. That's so unique. Now the devil, that's Capricorn energy. Usually, again, it could represent addictions, it could represent obsessions, it could represent thought loops, any sort of attachment. I will say this, it's great when it comes to anything worldly, monetarily, work related. The devil's great for the material aspects of life. But, especially in reverse, we like it because it's an energy that's transmuting, it's working its way through. So, again, there's like no process. I don't know what this like detoxing or transmuting is, but it's here. And I like it. I think it's good. It might not be the most pleasant, but I like what it's doing. That's the thing I like. So we got all right. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. So overall, I really like your reading this week. Again, is it perfect? No, but it's moving definitely in the right direction. If you kindly look in the box position, number one, we have the Seven of Cups with the Queen of Wands in the upright. Some of you might be wanting to change something about your physical vessel, how you present yourself to the world, looks and stuff like that. There is this little bit of a risky energy where it's like, hey, I want to gamble it up here. I might take a risk, where it's like I feel something and I do it. It's like being led by impulse, which again, for some of you, that might actually be a good thing if you're normally not like that. So again, if you feel like going someplace random, if you feel like eating something, I don't know, it's just like right place, right time type of energy. Thoughts become actions, become things. We get to the Ace of Pentacles, Four of Swords, something just pops into my lap, and especially with the tie into the High Priestess. Surprising or unexpected offer, potentially, maybe a conversation, but I don't know, it just feels like something good comes to me. I pull it to me. So great stuff. Even here on the back end, we have the High Priestess with the Devil in reverse. That's where I'm still getting this transmutation. So not the most pleasant energy, not the easiest to deal with, but it's working its way through and turning a negative into a positive. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card here at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this going. One shadow card for the beautiful Cancer Collective in late May. What do we got in the shadows? Thank you. All right. Okay. Yeah, so it ties exactly in with what we had within the reading itself. It's a card that showed up right here, actually. We got the beautiful Queen of Wands. And we'll look at her shadow side as well. Again, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Queen of Wands does deal heavily with how we view ourselves and how we treat ourselves. She's huge when it comes to confidence. So all this stuff I was saying about like following impulses, feeling a little more risky, for some Cancers, that could absolutely be the case when she shows up in the shadows, but I don't think it's a bad thing for everyone. I honestly don't. Maybe that's my bias talking because I have some Aries placements. So I'm like, yeah, nothing wrong with riskiness now and then. But the big downside to the Queen of Wands and the shadows, aside from the riskiness, this could be a card or an energy that's very hard on itself, that beats itself up. So in this time, I think it's really important for a lot of Cancers to be kind to yourself, regardless of what you're going through, right? Be kind to yourself, empathetic to yourself, loving to yourself, and then that will translate to other things. So we're just going to put her down right there. Don't beat yourself up about stuff. That's what I got for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom-made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the Posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.